Let me move on to the next part that we want to discuss today. Because when we talk about future of real estate, we always discuss about technology. Technology, when we hear technology, we always hear the word AI, blockchain, VR, AR. So these are the terms that describe what we call Proptech. So, Swee Yong, what does Proptech mean to you?
PropTech has got many layers of meaning. PropTech for the consumers could be like what you see on the photograph here. It could be the platform where you interact with between sellers, agents, and buyers. So that is the first stage of PropTech. So it's like an information resource. You go to the website, you look for what is available to buy. You look for what is available for rental. You look at the prices. You look for information, and then you can directly connect with somebody, whether he's the seller or he's the property agent, right? So that to the consumer at this moment is PropTech. But PropTech at the B2B level, for the landlords and the developers, PropTech can be construction technology. PropTech can include the maintenance of buildings. Now we have got drones that are flying up and down the building to inspect the outside of the building for cracks, for example.
Okay.
And then, of course, at the government level, there is also PropTech. If the government has got a lot of information about the traffic flow, the government can use the information, for example, about electricity demand in different parts of the city during 7 days a week and during every month. What sort of demand for energy, what sort of demand for traffic. The government can use a lot of this technology to improve the design and the infrastructure of the whole city. So PropTech is happening again partly due to COVID. COVID has made us work faster to improve all these things. And so we see more and more technology being adopted now for city planning, for building management, property management type of applications, construction management to also save costs and also try to help construct faster. And then at the consumer level, we have got applications like what you are showing now. In Japan, we have also seen applications where maybe you have a SME, he owns his shop house, he also, of course, he owns his own home, and then maybe he has another 2 or 3 investment properties. There are applications that will help him track his tenants as well as whether the tenants have paid the money, whether he is paying the property management fees, whether maybe it is now 6 months from the last time the aircon servicing is done. So all these reminders that will allow him as a small landlord, he owns 3 or 4 properties, but it can send him reminders and help him to make payments and get contact with his tenants and his property agents. So a lot of it is happening at the same time as we speak.
Right. So actually, yeah.
When you mentioned blockchain, and blockchain is going to be an interesting method to help consumers to buy smaller parts of real estate now. In the past, if you wanted to buy maybe a shop house in Phnom Penh, $1 million US, $2 million US, you need to save up quite a long time to get the money, then you buy the shop house. If you have blockchain now, you can use a company to buy the shop house, and then the company buys the shop house at $2 million, but then it distributes 1 million blocks. And and each block costs $2.
Right.
And using the blockchain technology now, a younger person may say that I want to buy $2,000 worth of blockchain in this uh, shop house that is $2 million. So he will be getting 1,000 blocks because each block is worth $2 US. So blockchain now is happening at the speed where this type of concept has been implemented. One company that Kok Kyong and I have been helping to work on is from Korea, Asa Korea. They securitized and they made into blockchain a small building of $10 million in Gangnam in Seoul. And they broke it down into $5 per block. So that would be interesting. But of course, it depends on the government law whether such crypto type of investments would be allowed or not.
Right. So, yeah, according to what you say, Proptech is a big umbrella which covers a lot of sector in real estate, starting from construction to sale of the property as well as to the maintenance of the property. So it basically
that is one thing you can consider. I mean, investors do not need to just consider investing in the real estate. Investors can consider investing into the technology.
Right. So basically the goal of technology in property is to increase the efficiency in each sector that they are in. So, for example, construction is trying to get it more efficient, try to control and organize the information so that the building can construct according to the schedule. For sales and marketing, we want to have a way of transmit the information, keep it organized for the consumers so that they can search and find easily. And lastly, you mentioned about blockchain where we can buy a property based on blocks, right? Based on small items which we divided from the property. I think this is something going to be exciting for the future, especially for young people, since we can buy according to how much we can afford. But again, that depends on the regulation of the government as well.
Yeah.
So since that technology has been evolving from time to time, and I mean, from my experience when I was starting my real estate career, every time that people want to buy property, they will go around the street looking for the sign that is for sale or for rent, and trying to call every landlord, try to get all the details of information of each property, which could be time consuming and tedious. So with the new technology, how will that impact the way that we buy and sell property, according to your opinion?
Okay, so I was first in Phnom Penh in 2007, and like you say, at that time there wasn't a platform in Phnom Penh where I can look at what is for sale and what is the cost of the property, or if I wanted to rent. At that time, budget of 300 to 500 US a month, I could rent a studio unit in BKK. And the problem then is, I am not sure whether this guy is overcharging me for his 500 US a month. And I am unable to compare because I've got to go to the different condominiums and knock on the door and then find out and then do my price comparison. But today, if I go and try to look for a property in Phnom Penh, it is much easier. And so the platform not only allows me to look for more information, some of the platforms will allow me to form an idea about what is the valuation of the properties in that neighborhood. So when you see that somebody is asking for 3,000 US per square meter, you think you want to know whether it is a reasonable asking price. From these platforms, you can make your comparison. Then you can come to a conclusion. Okay, in this neighborhood, 3,000 US per square meter, that is a good price, because the other guy is selling at 3,500 per square meter. Last month, somebody sold out 50 units at 4,000 per square meter, for example. So with these platforms now, the consumers' trust in the property market has also improved. In the past, even when you appoint the valuation company takes a few days to respond to you about whether the valuation is reasonable or not. So today, things have improved significantly because of this technology that we have. Of course, I'm talking mainly about residential properties and maybe office properties in the central parts of Phnom Penh. If you go slightly further outskirts and you are dealing with industrial properties, you are dealing with land. The land now is agriculture land, but you are thinking that maybe you can convert it into mixed use or residential plus factory land. Then I think maybe more technology needs to be developed, more software and more information needs to be aggregated before we can be confident about industrial and land values, factory values in the outskirts of Phnom Penh.
Okay, that is interesting, and that is how technology can change the way that we buy and sell property with more information at the tips of your finger, right?
Yes, in fact, with this information, the banks, the valuers, and the government, they are all seeing this information as well. And so if the banks are convinced that the information quality is good, the banks are also more confident about lending you money to buy the factory, for example. Or maybe your factory, you have already fully paid up for your factory, and over the last 10 years, you grow your factory bigger. And now you want to borrow money from the bank because you want to buy another piece of land next to your factory. The bank, seeing this same information, they will be a lot more confident in providing the credit. And with the credit, then the business growth will happen.
Right. So information transparency, market transparency is very important in real estate, which is why at Pointer we also believe in providing accurate information to our customer to ensure that they can make the right decision. So that's why we are developing all sort of technology. Besides the consumer, as a real estate agent, I believe some of our audience here are real estate agents. So what technology should a property agent use to better serve their customers?
In fact, there are many tools available out there, but what we need to do to upgrade ourselves is to understand how these tools operate. You can say that this is a system for doing rental, this can be a system for property management, but first we need to also study, we need to attend classes to understand how does this property management tool actually work? Where is the data collected from? So the building management system, you are trying to save money on the monthly electricity cost, for example. How do you get the information? How do you analyze the information? And then after that, you provide advice to the landlord, or maybe you are working for the boss who owns the building. You can then provide him with advice on how to make the building energy management system a lot more efficient. We also need to learn how to analyze costs, because many of us, because we are in a salesman type of mentality, we are generally able to attract people to work with us to buy a property because we are in a sales mode. But we should not only be thinking about revenue and the opportunity to make a profit. We should be thinking about how to minimize cost. So what are the risks involved with the cost? You can buy a property that may be very attractively priced, but maybe the cost of maintenance is very high. And so the running cost then becomes might reduce your profits significantly. So as property agents, we are not only having to keep up with some of these technology platforms, we should also try to learn the technology platform, what is it based on. So it means that the work is doubly tough for us, because first we have got to learn all these applications out there. Each application is based on what? Each application, how do they perform? And then we have to understand what goes into the application and the data that comes out. So 2 levels. Learn how to use the applications, learn what applications there are out there. Second is, each of these applications, how does it work? Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there's quite a lot of work for property agents to try to catch up. We have to run faster just to keep in the same spot.
Right. So I think the way that consumer is dealing with property is now, influenced by technology. So as a property agent, we should also keep up with the technology on what is going on and try to use the correct tools to ensure that we are serving our customer at the speed that they want. Because now, instead of, sometimes you don't have to bring the customer straight to the showroom because of COVID-19 or because of the lockdown. You can now just use your iPad with a VR. You can show the house. You can present information with details, with the level of details that can allow the buyers to make some sort of decision.
Yeah. In fact, many consumers are relatively advanced already in knowing how to use these applications.
Right.
And so we have to keep up at least with all the consumers, and then we have to try to be one step ahead of the consumers.
Right. So that's why at Pointer we believe in equipping our agents with the right tools, with the right technology, so that they can be more productive, be more efficient, and they can pass on that efficiency to their customer and save them time and money as well.